Hi, I'm Carla Higgins, and this is the Double Duty Agent Podcast. I am so glad you're here. Each week, we get together and we explore the stories of successful double duty real estate agents. And from their stories, you can find the solutions to overcoming your challenges and the keys to unlocking your success. Are you ready? Let's get started. Welcome. I am here today. I am super excited. You know, I am always excited. I am super excited. I have Jason Smith with me, and he is with Richmond, Kentucky, Keller Williams, the Legacy Group office. And Jason has been a school teacher for his entire real estate career. And he is in the top 20% in the market center, meaning that he's selling more homes than 80% of the other agents in the market center, all as a double duty agent. So I know you are going to hear lots of inspiring tips here, some choices, actions, and mindset that you should take. So let's dive in. Jason, welcome so much thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, caller, for having me. I'm pleasure to be here. And yes, hopefully I have something very insightful to offer those out here who are listening or who will be listening.
I'm excited to hear your story because your coach, Christina, has told me so many amazing things about you. So let's just dive right in. Why don't you tell me about when you got started in real estate? What made you decide you wanted to be a realtor?
Yeah, well, a realtor was never something or a career that I had ever inspired to be. I actually, the real estate thoughts, a career in my head was becoming a part-time real estate appraiser. So I went off to appraisal school and completed the coursework and the certification on appraisal back in 2005. And once I went out to find a part-time job, I had zero success with finding any appraiser here in Richmond that would accept me for an apprenticeship. And it didn't seem to be because I was already teaching full time. It just seemed to be that many of them were just like, well, I've already got apprentices under me. I have no more space. We are limited. So, and back then, the market was pretty hot at the time, before the crash. So they may not have time for me as well. So with that being said, it was really weird. I was living in a neighborhood that I was probably the fifth house built in that neighborhood. And it was a dense neighborhood. So what did I do every day? I got to watch realtors showing houses and homes being built, homes being sold. So I thought, hey, yeah, this looks like something I think I could do. So I thought, well, if I can't be an appraiser, hey, let's go see if we can be a realtor, even though I didn't really want to be a realtor, but I did it. I did it. So I took off and went to school, the same school that I received my appraisal license with, and spent some time there and got a certification, and boom, took off into the real estate world, and haven't looked back ever since 2006.
And no desire to be an appraiser now?
Absolutely not. I love what I do now as a real estate agent, and I'm glad things worked out the way that they did.
Isn't that fun, Jason, when we think we want something and it turns out something else shows up for us and we realize the thing that we wanted wasn't really what we wanted at all, right?
Absolutely. And I think what I know I would have missed if I would have been an appraiser versus a real estate agent, I think, is the people. I'm a people person, and this career, this double career was definitely the right choice. The right choice for me. It's just been great. I've met and made lifelong friends in this industry.
It's amazing, isn't it? It is a fabulous industry to be in. So if we have anybody listening that's thinking maybe they want to be a realtor, you just gave them a really good reason to just jump in and do that. Mm-hmm. All right, so let me make sure I understand. So you are a school teacher. What do you teach?
I was, by trade, I was a LBD special education teacher, and I taught mainly elementary school for nearly 20 years. I'm now at a high school here in Madison County where I do college and career readiness. So I get to talk to students about real estate as well now. So, it's not everything we talk about, but it kind of coexist with a career I do now with college and career readiness. So yeah, I've been just finished year number 26 as an educator as well. I started in '98, and I've been a real estate agent since 2006. So do the math. So you're talking
18.
18 years or so doing both. So yes, I mean it can be done, and
I
certainly
think you have the longest tenure of any of our double duty agents that I've interviewed so far. I love this.
awesome,
And
awesome.
how exciting you get to work with people who are planning their careers, because
Mhm.
I hate to say that I have regrets, because I really don't. But boy, I wonder where my life would be if I would have gotten my real estate license when I was 18 or 19.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
How many houses I didn't get to sell because I didn't have my license yet, right? You start counting those
Mhm.
up.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So you got your real estate license. How does your career start?
My career starts out a lot like most agents whose careers start out today, and it's a career where you spend a lot of time, at least that first 1 to 3 to 5 years of doing lots of learning and hopefully selling a few houses here at the same time. So I did spend a lot of time with other agents in the office that I went with at the time in 2006. Did a lot of self-based training, things of that nature, and just kind of got out open houses like a lot of newer agents I see here, and also I leveraged the teaching career that I had was at the time to generate leads. I worked my new database, you might say, new sphere of influence really hard. It was throwing magnets in their mailboxes every 3 to 6 months every year to send and add them every teacher in my building on the mailing list and staff member. It just kind of took off from there. And it would be one teacher here and one teacher there and one open house person, prospect and so on. It's just kind of snowballed since.
I love that. So I want to unpack that just a little bit, because the very first thing I heard from you was the reminder that it doesn't happen immediately.
No, it doesn't happen immediately, and there again, I do feel like there is a deep, hidden curve of learning that a lot of newer agents really don't step back to uh, digress. There are a lot of elements of being a real estate agent that must be learned and understood, from lead generation to being just a general salesman, to learning your scripts, to leveraging those around you and your resources. Because again, as a double duty agent, we do have limited time to spend versus our full time agents in the field. So.
Absolutely. I love that. So, and it's a learning based industry. Like, we're still learning. I don't know about you,
Mhm.
but I learn all the time. I love it. I'm getting ready to head to Austin here. Will you be at Mega Camp?
I will not. I'll be back in school. Unfortunately, I will not. But I do take advantage of our Keller Williams uh, learning based opportunities that they provide. I do mega camp, mega listing agent productivity learning. We usually have that in January. So I do invest into our culture and our learning resources with the company.
I love that. It's a shame. I remember when I was in school, we didn't go back to school until after Labor Day, and they messed that up
Mhm.
for you, didn't they?
No, we go back August the 8th.
August 8th. Oh, wow. That seems so early. Okay. But real estate, we just do this year round. And I love that we get the education and training. The other thing I heard you say was about having a database and
Mhm.
talking to the people that you worked with. This is, I
Mhm.
think, an advantage that double duty agents have. Double duty agents have a lot of unique challenges, but they have some advantages. And one of them is exactly this: they have a built in,
Mhm.
like, sphere of influence that they have daily contact with.
Yes, that was my first. That was my first go-to when I began in the industry, was the educators, not just in my building, but those who I knew across the whole county. So if you're not an educator, and regardless where you work at, those every one of those people that you know and work with, or have worked with, or have those even the most general relationship, they all have phone numbers and mailing addresses in which you can capture and get them in queue.
I always say they want to live indoors. Anybody who wants to live indoors, they should be in my database.
That's right. That's
And
right.
even if
So,
they don't want to, they may know somebody who needs to be
yep,
live
yep,
indoors. So
yep. Gobble up as many mailing addresses and phone numbers as you can would be my best advice to those uh, that you work with. And granted, I understand we not all of them are going to work with us. We understand that, or I understand that. Some of them have agents. Some of them don't feel as comfortable working with one that they work with every day. So you got to understand that as well. But I still feel like overall that's been a huge source for me is those who I am rubbing elbows with every day.
well, there's one guarantee for sure. If you don't talk to them about it, they're not going to work with you.
Absolutely,
It's
I
just a
totally
thing,
agree.
right?
I
It's just a
totally
thing.
agree. Hmm.
Okay, so we've got our real estate license and we have picked a brokerage and we are learning and we are
Hmm.
growing and we're doing open houses and
Hmm.
we're building our database. We're collecting all the information that we need.
Yes.
So what do you think most contributed to your early success?
Well, I think being learning based definitely contributed to my early success in the industry, and it still does today. And just the energy of the industry that it always seems to bring to me, the competitiveness of the industry that we're presented with. You know, I was way off early in my career. I feel like trying to, though, compete with other agents. Once I learned to just worry about and compete with myself and my own growth, uh, that really seemed to streamline and bring my career more into focus when I was just really focused on my career and what strategies and that I could implement into my business to grow my business rather than just kind of watching other agents and trying to figure out what they do. And, but again, the internet and Keller Williams has helped a whole lot with that as well, just to kind of break out of this local community and see what other agents are doing across the country.
Well, success leaves clues, and that's why we have this
Mhm.
podcast, right?
Yes,
So success leaves
yes.
clues, and we can learn from other agents. I also heard what you said about comparing ourselves or being competitive. And we
Hmm.
had an episode a few weeks ago with Annie Koppel, and she talked about. I actually coached with her, so I remember coaching her through this about being inspired by other people instead of
Hmm.
comparing ourselves to them.
Yes, I think that's an excellent point, and that's kind of I definitely where I feel like I am these days as I've matured in the business, as being
You're in the
inspired.
top 20%. There aren't very many people for you to compare yourself against that's ahead of you.
Well, yeah, but there's always one. There's always those who are selling more than me. But yeah, inspiring and just knowing that uh, if I'm working hard, they're working harder. But again, that's why I do leverage my business as much as possible. I mean, that's a key to a double duty agent. Uh, is to find leverage in your business to free up more time for you to prospect and work your leads.
I love that. Let's talk a little bit about leverage. What kind of leverage do you employ in your business that gives you that extra time boost?
Um, well, I have a personal assistant who helps me do a lot of heading up forms and things like that, doing some closing gifts, kind of getting all those types of things in place for me as I'm listing properties and preparing offers with buyers. The main thing that's really helped my business and my time has been our Keller Williams transaction coordinator. We do have a KW transaction coordinator with our company, as many I'm sure out there or
Such a
KW
gift.
know. And my KW transaction coordinator has just been invaluable. Um, she has just changed the way that I can work my business by just keeping contracts, closings, and just everything under control so that I can spend more time with leads, prospecting, and just being in the business with listing appointments and showing houses with my
The things
buyers,
that make you money.
the things that make me
The
money.
things that make you money, yeah.
And I
Well, it
think,
kind of follows along the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book that Gary gave us, right? Gary Keller wrote, because that absolutely tells us our first hire is an administrative assistant. So we can take all of those things that are non-dollar productive and not in our 20% that brings us 80% of our results and get it
yes.
over to someone else that can handle it. So that's awesome. You've got that in place.
Yeah, and I definitely give a lot of credit to our operations manager, Dana Gentry, who owns our office and several other offices. I mean, she's been very instrumental with training our company with leverage ideas, and some listen to her and some don't. I mean, it's your call, but she's very much one of the top notch realtors, CEOs out there in this industry, and it's really made a big difference for me.
I think that's a really good point. When we hitch our cart to the engine that's going to pull us forward, if we find a really good engine, like
Yeah.
Dana is, we find a really good
Mhm.
engine, then our car is going to pull forward faster. I love that.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, Jason, tell me a little bit about the schedule that you have. So I think that for double duty agents, having a schedule that they know when they work their real estate
Mhm.
job, I think that's really
Mhm.
important. Do you maintain like a schedule?
I do as much as possible. Obviously, there's going to be distractions, but we only have, as everyone else, 24 hours in a day to make this happen. So I do leverage a lot of, I use Command a lot to do a lot of automation, smart plans with future, past, and current clients, whether they be buyers and sellers. Um, it's sending out text messages and emails and things of that nature why I'm busy doing other things. So I do try to time block as much as possible, especially from like 3 to 5 o'clock. I'm finished with school at 3 o'clock to nail down any of the most important pressing uh, things that I couldn't do during the school day to get those done, whether that be attend a closing, uh, show a house if a client can't look before 3 o'clock, or 4 o'clock, should I say, or 5 o'clock. Things like that right there. But I time block as much as I can. I mean, I can't time block every day to the way that I full time agents can, but time blocking is definitely, as we all know, one of the most important things that any part time or full time agent should be doing to maintain focus on their business and keep your vision flowing.
Absolutely. I don't think that any two agents have the same time block, just to be clear,
Mhm.
because we have a lot of things going on. Like, especially for double duty agents, we have our other job or
Mhm.
whatever other commitment that we have that keeps us from being full time real estate. But we also have family and friends and
Mhm.
ourselves we have to take care of. And who knows?
Mhm.
Like everybody has a different time block. But yeah, we have to have the intention about it. And
Yes.
then we know what we need to do when we need to do it. I always
Yes.
wonder when agents tell me, well, I just fit it in wherever I can.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and I know I'm sure there's agents out there, and I can't. I'm going. I'll be the first to say I have done that myself. But if you put it on your schedule, obviously on your calendar, it should happen.
Yeah. And if it's not on your calendar, it probably won't. And
Not
that's just the reality of it.
Yep.
Also, for our listeners that are not at Keller Williams, KW Command is our technology that is both our database and also what Jason was talking about is it does communication for us. So it's actually leverage. It does the
Mhm.
leverage for us. It helps us
Mhm.
communicate with our database. If you've read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book that Gary Keller, Dave Papazan, and Dave Jinks wrote, you'll know that we have like a 36 touch. So we reach out to the people that we know 36
Mhm.
times. And that would be very time consuming, not only for a double duty agent, but for even a full time agent if you had a very big database.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up with that 36 touch campaign, and as we're learning, here in this industry, as the more we learn, is that 36 touches just isn't enough even today
Well,
for
Amazon messed that up for all of us.
yeah, that's not enough either. So again, another, I leverage more sources besides Keller Command to uh, reach my past clients, whether it be automated birthday cards, home anniversaries, things of that nature. But Command's also good to just run Facebook ads. It's a great way to run ads for your listings, promote ourselves to gain leads as well. And
Okay,
so,
so is there anything else with social media that you would recommend? Do you do anything else with social media that helps you with your presence and your business growth?
well, being a top 20% agent here in our Keller Williams Legacy office, we are offered an upgrade where our company does a lot of extra Instagram uh, ads for the top 20% agents. So it's another awesome leverage piece for my business. I mean, I have I'll be standing next to people at work, and they're like, "Oh, how did you do that? You weren't here. I just saw you made a post." I'm like, "No, that's my company taking care of that for me." You know?
I'm magic.
Yeah, I imagine. So yeah, I
I'm
mean,
magic. Let me use my magic for you.
and it's usually resourceful pieces that market statistics, things of that nature that builds an audience of who may be interested in learning more about myself or our company. So it's
Just
really good
adding
stuff.
value, right? If
Yes.
we add value, that's one of the really the keys to that 36 touch or 72 touch or 100
Mhm.
touch or whatever you're doing,
Mhm.
right? Part of that is just providing value. And I think sometimes we forget what we know that they don't know.
Yes, it can be, and especially as a double duty agent, that's something that I have learned in the past 5 to 7 years with Keller Williams is that those can be also the most important things that we miss with their database as well.
Yeah.
And again, it may not mean much to us, but knowing that they're just them seeing their face with a little bit of information, they see us as the expert.
We are the expert.
We are the expert.
We
You're
are the
right.
expert. We better make sure they know
Yes,
it.
we are the expert, and but that is, again, that's one thing that newer agents, I don't feel like they do a good job with clasping onto that. They feel they are busy learning, understand that, but they've got to kind of take that stand.
Well, they still know more than everybody else does. They took a class, and while there's a
Yeah,
lot to learn, they still know more. And they can always say, "I don't know the answer to that. Let me check on it, and I'll get right back to you." Or, "I would like to get you the best right answer. Let me check on that, and I'll get right
I
back
do
to
that all the time still,
you."
so
We
that's a
all
great
do.
strategy.
Shoot, I've called our managing broker before, and he said, "I'm going to get you the best right answer. I'm going to call the attorney." Right? We're
Uh
not
huh.
ever going to know it all.
No, no.
No, not at all. All right, Jason, tell me a little bit about when you were very, can you think back when you were very first starting? What do you think
Mhm.
was the biggest challenges you had?
I think the biggest challenge was the learning curve. I was not at Keller Williams, and this company was a very well known company, but there wasn't much training at all. And that was, just on that topic right there, that remained, in my opinion, an issue in my business uh, until I joined Keller Williams. There just was not uh, a company, and I had been at a few, that was as transparent with their culture and learning and their sharing of uh, opportunities for realtors to grow in their sales business as Keller Williams. So, it was trial by fire for many, many years for me.
Trial by fire doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, and I can kind of kick myself and think, man, if I'd only been at Keller Williams 10 years prior to this, top 20, I may have been in the top 5, percent.
I know. I tell you, I don't like those regrets, right? But every once in a while, I just think there must have been a lesson there for me to learn. And I
Yes,
learned that lesson so that I could be where I am right now. So, for
yes.
those listeners that are out there, if you happen to be in a situation where you just really feel like you're not getting the training and education that Jason's talking about, let me know. Like, I can help you, even if Keller Williams is not a good fit for you, I can help you find the training and such that you need. So, and training is a little hard, even as a double duty agent, especially what your hours are like yours, Jason,
Mhm,
because a lot of times what they offer is during the day when you're at work. So you also
mhm.
want to find somebody that's going to, be able to accommodate your schedule a little bit.
Right. And, and I say training. So I think what I would like for an agent to know, because I've heard that many, many years too, train, train, train. but training is learning strategy. If you take anything away from this podcast here, when I say training, I mean strategy. You learn strategy uh, to build your lead generation system, to build leads, to sell more homes, to leverage your business. So training is strategy, in my words, in
I
my
love
opinion.
that. Training is strategy. I think that's a nugget. We need to plug that in somewhere. That should be some like a that could be a shirt. Training is
Yeah,
strategy.
training is strategy.
I
Again,
think
I
KWU
never
should
got
take
why
that.
people trained.
KWU should put that on a shirt for us.
Yeah, training is strategy.
Training is strategy. I love it. All right. So, Jason, some important choices that you made along the way that has led you to being in the top 20% so often, so many years.
Well, I think it didn't start off my career, a bed of roses. So I think, if you're starting out slow in this business, it's okay. Uh, I have many realtor friends as well who started out slow and now they're selling more than me. So it does take time. You got to remember you have a lot to do to build a real estate business. It doesn't come overnight, and just keep training, just keep showing up, uh, and just keep in touch with your sphere of influence, your past clients, your current clients, of course, and and get those reviews, those online reviews from them, and uh, then those around you will begin to see that, oh well, hey, or maybe Jason can sell a house, or maybe he just did this for them. I guess he can do it for me. I mean, that's kind
Well,
of
I
how
think
it all
so
started.
often we tell people one time and we think they're going to remember. And if we're not staying in contact with them, unfortunately, Jason, you're very memorable, but I imagine it's possible somebody might forget.
It is, and again, that's why you have to kind of work on uh, your automated systems to stay in touch. I promise I don't have time to call 18 years worth of clients, but you can call your top 20% clients. Those who are referring you the most is definitely the ones you need to stay in touch with the most.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Uh, I was thinking when you were talking, I was thinking about slowly then suddenly. We know
Mm-hmm.
that's how this goes, right? So if you're starting out and you're feeling frustrated, if you're taking consistent action, just
Mm-hmm.
taking repeated consistent action, you're taking the right action. I guess I should qualify, right? It has to be the right action. If you're taking the right action consistently, it will happen. It's just slowly then suddenly. Did you have that moment where all of a sudden you looked up and you're like, "Oh wow, look, it's slowed down." Like,
Yes, and it will happen. In fact, if you keep going with that consistency and that, what I hear sometimes, that boring work, that that just seems to be an everyday grind that doesn't seem to make much of a difference to you. It's going to make a difference to the others as long as it is the right work.
I love boring money.
Yes. Yes. And again, staying in touch and just getting out there, getting online. You got to be online. That's just a standard part of the business these days.
Well, we can't be a secret agent because if we're a secret agent, nobody knows about us, and everybody we have to go where they are, and they
Yeah.
are online. Apparently,
Yeah.
they're on TikTok. I haven't made that yet.
Right. And one that I'd love to tell a newer agent to, a double duty agent for sure, is that you as far as territory goes, don't try to sell to your whole region. Don't try to sell. Don't even try to sell to your own county. Pick some small farm some smaller pocket areas in your local area where you may be already top of mind. It could start with your neighborhood, your church, again your work, and start small.
I love that. Niche down. Pick an area where you can be the one. You can be the mayor of the area.
Yes, just
No
start
pun
small. I find a lot of newer agents they try to start too big and too broad, and and when you're doing that, you're not getting top of mind in your backyard either.
we talk a lot at Keller Williams about marketing and prospecting. And
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes I find that dual career agents, double duty agents say, you know what, I'm going to spend my time marketing because I don't have the time to prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a comment or a thought on that?
Well, I think you can do both. Uh, though with prospecting, we understand that you have to be taking an active approach with that, and that may be door knocking early in your career, and that may be doing more open houses early in your career, and that may be uh, working with expired listings and for sale by owners. But there's a lot of agents out there making a whole lot of sales and a great deal of money with those small pockets of prospecting. Yes, marketing is a good thing to do. It's a easy but it can be expensive thing to do by marketing and advertising. But um, getting out face to face, elbow to elbow with prospects is really where the name of the game is. Being active. Everybody probably already knows you anyway or have seen you that you may be marketing to, but you kind of got to get out, meet the strangers, meet the people who don't know you.
Yeah. Well, marketing's great, but if you think it's slowly then suddenly calling your database and door knocking and doing open houses, just wait and see how slow it's going to be if you just market. Because
Exactly.
you're not building relationships. They have to
Mm-hmm.
know you, like you, trust you, and that billboard isn't going to do that for you.
Yeah, we have a lot of newer agents here in our Keller Williams Legacy office who they're really good about doing door knocking and things like that, contacting for sale by owners, contacting Zillow for sale by owners, those on your Facebook Marketplace, just sending them a two-line message, and that's prospecting, and that's getting them in the doors of some prospects. So it should be done, even by me, by all of us.
By all of us, yeah. Unless you don't need business, and then don't do it, right?
Yeah, unless you don't need business. I need a lot of business.
All right, Jason, what's your favorite lead generation activity?
My favorite lead gener used to be open houses. I did a lot of open houses, and now I get a lot. I do a lot of like online, like targeted marketing for folks who could be thinking about buying or selling a house. But I don't know. I think a lot of I hammer my database really hard.
So most of your business comes from
Yeah,
either your database directly or referrals.
and yes, and I just always make sure that I get online reviews completed for me by clients, and it doesn't for newer or double duty agents, whatever circumstance you are in today. Reviews are extremely important, and just because you're not selling them a house doesn't mean you can't ask for a Google review. Um, they can talk about how you've been helping them just look for a house. They can talk about how well you communicate with them. They can talk about the knowledge that you present with them. So you want to let people know out there and on the World Wide Web and your local community that legitimate, authentic, and professional, and have the expertise to help you.
I love that. I love that. All right. Let's talk a little bit about mindset. Sometimes this is challenging, right? They say
Mm-hmm.
this is we know this is true. It's super simple. It's super simple to be successful in real estate. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not easy. And I think for double duty agents, sometimes it's even harder, right? It's really just downright hard
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. Where do you get your inspiration from? What helps you when you get off work and you're like, I really don't want to do this? What helps you do it?
Well, that's an easy answer for me. I spent a lot of time, again, learning online with Keller Williams and a lot of realtor Facebook groups that I'm in. And you'll quickly see that the things that I'm struggling with, you're struggling with. And a lot of us struggle with some of the same things, no matter where you're at in your business or where you're at in your day job. We're all struggling with similar prospecting issues, sales issues, things of that nature. I do enjoy listening to and going back and listening to James Shaw on Pivot Shift Ahead on Facebook. He's a very good resource for double duty agents. There are several double duty agents within that Facebook group, and he does have an Inspire group as well that piggybacks off of the Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook group, which you can uh, grow a little deeper with your learning. If you join Inspire, it's really cheap, $99 a month, and there's just tons and tons of free resources out there. So, again, I spend some time in the office, but I spend a lot of time on Keller Williams nationwide.
I love that. And I'll put in the show notes the link to James Shaw's information. I was lucky enough to have him as a bold coach. So that
Oh,
was exciting. Yeah.
yeah, he's great.
He is amazing. So I think if you're listening and you haven't heard from a prior episode, Bold is just a class that we have. I don't even call it a class. It is a life changing event that we do
Mhm.
every year at Keller Williams, and it stands for Business Objective Life by Design. And I love what I was just hearing from you. So the mindset tip that I think I'm hearing you give to agents is to surround yourself with other agents. Surround
Yeah.
yourself with other agents who are
Mhm.
doing the same thing that
Mhm.
you're doing, so that you have the connection. But it's,
Mhm.
I hate to say misery loves company, but it's true,
Mhm.
because if we find somebody else that's having the same challenge we are, then together we're better. We can solve it together, right? Or maybe they've already solved it and we just get to learn from them.
Right, which is the entire I feel like the entire preface of Keller Williams, our franchise altogether, is the transparency and the culture that we have, that we learn from each other, we struggle with each other as well, and we grow with each other.
We do. And is it John Maxwell who says that we're the sum of the people we spend the five people we spend the most time with? I can't remember who's
I
quote.
can't remember, but that sounds like a good John Maxwell.
I'm just gonna say that if it's not John, he would have thought of it if he
Yes,
somebody else
yes,
hadn't done
that's
it first. And I'll find out the true source of that
yeah.
and put that in the show notes as well, because I always want to give credit where the great brilliant inspiration comes from. But that one's true, right? So we surround ourselves with people who are pushing towards the same goal that we are, then together we'll push each other up. So I love
Yeah,
that.
and one little tip for our double duty agents like myself uh, that I just thought of, surround yourself with those agents, but also, if you can get in your office and surround yourself with some agents who are producing more real estate sales than you, you can. That's a great asset for you to be able to learn and grow with. Uh, I want to hang out with those top agents who are selling more than me. And see what they're doing. They're just always full of great tips and ideas, and lots of energy.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll catch their energy because energy is contagious. Yeah, they'll just pull us
Yes,
right up with them. I love
yes,
that.
yes.
All right. Well, what's next for Jason? What's on the horizon? What do you have in your future?
My future, I am down to next May. I'm eligible to retire from teaching, but I may continue to teach. So I mean, I may continue this double duty life. It's been good so far and successful. So I think my thing is continuing to work to grow my business, to learn more ideas, to influence my sphere of influence, my database, so that they're thinking of me when they're thinking of real estate, so that they tell all their friends and family who may be one of the best local realtors here in Richmond. So just really maintaining relationships and finding more ways to keep growing my business and streamline it. Because again, as a double duty agent, we have to find ways to streamline our business, make it more profitable by hopefully working less. And again, I use mine to use that. My thoughts are is just work to automate your business as much as possible so that you're working while you're sleeping.
Smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Exactly. I love this. I love this. So good. All right. Now, you've given so many amazing tips during our time together today. Do you have any last thing that you would want to share with a double duty agent who's out there who is really just struggling? They cannot figure out how to fit the two things together and they're struggling. What would be
Yeah.
your one best piece of advice or two?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, we all struggle, and I still struggle today with making everything happen in the way in which, if I were full time, so, but don't give up. Don't give up. You have to find ways that and strategies that you can make work first and foremost for yourself. Uh, and whether that's time blocking, whether that's automating your business more, whether that's leveraging your business with a personal assistant uh, or a transaction coordinator, things of that nature. You just kind of got to keep working to find the right fit, the right recipe for you and your circumstances. And it took me a while to do that. Again, I've been doing this for 18 years. It took me many, many years to figure that out, but I figured it out much quicker here at Keller Williams.
I love that. In 18 years, it must be working.
It must be working.
It must be
And
working.
I'm
You want
still
to
not ready
continue
to
it.
give up with real estate anytime soon. I seem to be enjoying it more and more here lately than I ever have.
I love it. It's so rewarding.
Yes.
All right. So, Jason, if somebody out there has someone who's moving to Richmond, Kentucky, is it okay if I share your contact information in the show notes so they could reach out to send you a referral? Would you be interested in referral?
Absolutely. Please do so. I have had the privilege to work with several Keller Williams agents from across the country with inbound and outbound referrals with buyers and sellers, and we've always been successful with that. I just helped a customer move all the way from the state of Washington to our area. Wasn't a KW referral, but I have experience with working with sellers and buyers inbound and outbound throughout the whole United States. So I would love to work with you and anyone out there.
Awesome. Well, Jason, I cannot thank you enough for coming to share your story because, wow, I mean, 18 years. And
Mhm.
people are thinking, I don't know if I can make it 1 year, and you've been doing it for 18. You're going to keep on doing it, keep being in the 20%. I can see why.
Please, please do so. If you love it, do it.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and I hope you all have a great day. And hope someone found something to take away from this today that's going
Oh, I know
to
they did.
positively impact their career.
I know they did. Thank you. Oh, Jason, thank you so much for coming and sharing your amazing story with us. Now, how is that for inspiring 18 years? 18 years as a double duty agent, school teacher by day, double duty agent. I love it. I can see the superhero cape, I'm telling you. All right, so let's dive into the keys to success from Jason's story. We're going to start with choices and we're going to talk about choosing to leverage the existing network. Jason talked about leveraging his existing connections in his school environment to generate the leads that he needed by tapping into that sphere of influence, people who knew him, liked him, and trusted him, those teachers and the staff that he worked with. He was able to build a solid foundation for his real estate business. The next choice we have here is seeking continuous learning. Despite initially not getting all the formal training that he needed, he made a choice to continually seek knowledge and training opportunities. And he continues to do that today, even 18 years later. And it's those training opportunities that provide him with the resources and the strategies that he needs to grow his business. So, are you tapping into all of the training that is available for you? The next choice that Jason talked to us about was his strategic brokerage selection. And he actually had a couple of brokerages and there was good things. There's always good things about all of our amazing brokers out there. So, but Jason finally made a decision to join Keller Williams and feels that he shared with us that that was pivotal because it provided him access to really support and then also that educational environment that I mean he's a teacher, he knows the value of education and we heard that over and over again that the education and training was crucial for his growth as a real estate agent. So that is the actions or the choices. Now let's talk a little bit about the actions that we heard from Jason. And the first thing he talked about was building and maintaining a database. You know, your database is your business. When you get to the end of your career and you're ready to sell your business, well, your database is the asset that you have to sell. We call it a data bank. There's a reason. It's kind of like an ATM machine. If we take really good care of it, it brings us money out, you know, just like an ATM machine does. So, Jason, he took proactive steps to build and maintain a comprehensive database of all of his contacts and he regularly communicated with them, ensuring that he stayed top of mind. And we even had a little discussion about, you know, is it 36 touch or have is it now? Thank you, Amazon. Much more than 36 touch. I counted after we talked, and in the last week, I had somewhere around 42 messages from Amazon. So they definitely have stepped that up as far as how often we hear from people who are wanting to keep our attention. All right. He also talked about utilizing open houses. And early in his career, he had open houses, and that was the open houses that helped him both build his database and then get immediate business. I mean, really, open houses are the best way for brand new agents, whether double duty or a full time agent, a brand new agent to get in the way of immediate buyers and sellers. And it's a really great way to generate leads for your business, whether you're a brand new agent or a seasoned agent. And then he also talked about employing leverage and automation to manage like his dual careers. He employed leverage. He hired, he has a personal assistant, and he uses transaction coordinator, somebody to help him get from contract to closing. So he doesn't have to spend his valuable time doing that paperwork. He can instead spend it in that what we call the magic 20%, the stuff that's going to make us money, that where our time is best served. I mean, he also talked about the technology, and he's at Keller Williams and he has access to something called KW Command. But if you're not at Keller Williams, I'm sure you have some technology available to you that has some automated communications and follow ups with your database that will help you maximize your efficiency. And then the last action that Jason shared with us was really implementing strategic time blocking. We talked about that a little bit, particularly his after school hours, and to make sure that he was focusing on critical real estate activities, the things that he needed to do to be successful. And, have to maintain a little bit of a disciplined approach so that way you can manage your time or manage the use of your time effectively between the two careers. Lastly, under mindset, we heard a lot about resilience and patience. Jason reminded us that success in real estate takes time, and we have to be patient, and we have to continuously put forth the effort, knowing that it's going to pay off in the long run. Talked about focusing on self improvement. And he also talked about instead of comparing himself to others, he focused on his own growth and development. Comparison is the thief of joy. We don't want that to be the case. And we don't know what book they're reading, let alone what chapter they're on. So why would we compare our book and our chapter to someone else's? This mindset, it allowed him to implement strategies that were effective in his business and not really worry about what other people were doing. Also talked about maintaining a positive mindset and staying growth oriented. Jason had talked to us about seeking inspiration from other agents and leveraging resources like Facebook groups and other networking organizations for real estate agents, just to stay informed and also motivated. And then lastly, Jason talked about having a client centric approach, providing value to his clients, staying in constant communication, and making sure they felt supported throughout the real estate journey. That this helped him build a strong approach and helped him uh, have those relationships. This is a relationship business. He also talked to us when he was talking about client centric approaches. When you build your database so large that um, you can't possibly call them all, to focus your phone calls on that top 20%, the ones that are sending referrals your way. And then he also talked about embracing change and innovation, that new technology. Anytime new technology is presented to you, can you embrace that and help that bring you some leverage for your business? So staying adaptable and open to new ideas. So there you go. That's Jason's journey as a double duty agent. And oh my gosh, he highlighted for us the importance of strategic choices, consistent actions, and that resilient mindset that we keep talking about week in and week out. Um, I believe his story serves as an inspiration for everyone that's balancing multiple careers or commitments because 18 years he's been a successful double duty agent and in the top 20% of his market center. So join me again next week. I have yet another amazing story to share with you. Steve Fulford will be with us, and he went from 31 years in General Motors and became an agent and on a team, and then now is the director of agent growth, so into leadership. So we'll explore his journey next week on the next episode of The Double Duty Agent. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're leaving inspired and you found a key or two you're going to try out this week to see how they help you to unlock your success. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single story. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can find me at doubledutypodcast.com. That link is also in the show notes. Until next time, have a productive week.